Listen up, crew, I have good news for you. I have adjusted my prices to reflect the current state of the dire economy in which we find ourselves. So this means that the prices for my personal readings have changed. If you are thinking of booking a personal reading with me, a tarot reading or a birth chart report analysis, this is your sign. Check the second link in the description box underneath any of my videos. It will take you to my website and you can have a look around. But in the meantime, let's jump into this very special tarot reading. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is what's in my lap. Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local lightworker, and today I have a special video for you. I want to teach you a specific method of reading tarot that can give you a deeper meaning or a deeper insight into your life's purpose. We're going to explore your blessings, your challenges, your life's deeper purpose. We're also going to be looking into how others perceive you, how you see yourself, what your soul purpose is. It's going to be super fun, I guarantee. I recently stumbled across this method as I was reading this book. It's written by Georges Colloy. It's called Tarot, a philosophical and therapeutical vision of the Tarot of Marseille. So, the Tarot of Marseille is one of the most ancient tarot decks that exists in Europe. It is considered to be the blueprint that inspired the creation of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, or this tarot deck, which everybody is familiar with. Yeah? And basically, Georges, in this book, he's trying to give us a way in which we can display the major arcana so that we can understand our psychological blockages, but also what is the source of our creativity. He calls this method in a very bombastic way. It's called the Referential of Personal Archetypes. And because it sounds really difficult to pronounce, I'm just going to shorten it to the RPA method. I can put the link in the description box to the book if you're interested in purchasing it for yourself. It is interesting, I would say. It's not the best kind of written book, but this method, the fact that it gives you this practical understanding of how to use the major arcana in a unique way, is really mind-blowing, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So in the book, this is how the referential is presented. You can see here that the cards are distributed in a specific pattern. We are only using major arcanas. So if you are using a tarot deck, please select only the 22 major arcanas. So the 21 plus the 0 card, the Fool. Now, I want to show you in this clip what each of these areas represents. I'm going to talk to you about the deeper meaning of all of these areas because each of them represents a different skill, a different challenge, a different way to look at your life, and also how to calculate. How can you reach to the arcana that is in position 1, and what is the meaning of position 1 in this RPA method? I guarantee that by the end of this clip, if you play along and use your major arcana, you will find out something really fascinating about your life. So first of all, let me show you how the cards are distributed, much like in this image. I will be using, for the purpose of this reading, the Halloween Tarot. I selected the major arcana from this tarot deck. You can use whichever tarot deck you have at home. Actually, it will be really fun to play along with cards from your specific tarot deck. So for example, you may use a love tarot to try to see what is your love energy overall, or you could use a more modern tarot deck such as the Cozy Witch tarot deck, right? So you can give the referential method a very cute modern twist that can also give you deeper insights into the biggest problems of your life and how to overcome them. Okay, so first of all, let me show you how the areas are distributed. So we begin with position 1, position 2, position 3, 4, 5. So this is the first group, the inner circle. You begin from here and you go inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have the outer rim. We have 6, 7, 8. No, not here. 9. I know you're tempted to put it here. I'll explain in a second why it's like that. 10, 11, 12. And finally, we have the heart of the matter. This is a separate card which basically summarizes the energy of the entire referential, 13. Okay? Now, if you look at the display, it looks like a rhombus, a little bit like a diamond cut shape, but in reality, it is meant to represent the Sephirot, the holy tree in the Kabbalah. So, bearing this in mind, we also have a different distribution. We have here the belt made up of these cards, and then we have Jacob's ladder made up of these cards. So we have the inner circle, we have the belt, we have Jacob's ladder. The referential needs to look like this, only comprised of major arcanas and following that specific order. Why did I put 9 over here? Why is it 10 over here? Well, it's because cards 6 and 7 are connected. They are the mirrors to each other. Cards 9 and 10 are connected. Again, they are the mirrors of each other. And card 8 represents the year that you are interested in finding out more about. Because I will take each of these 13 positions in part and show you how to calculate them, and also show you what is the meaning of that specific area of life. Okay? So, all this being said, let's jump into the second part of this reading and figure out how to calculate each of these positions. And let's calculate together. So, how do you find out what major arcana falls into position number 1, and what does position number 1 mean in this RPA? First of all, position number 1 is your personality. It's basically telling you, this is the way in which I want to communicate with the world. It's a very social card. It also shows how others perceive you. How do you find out? It's your birthday, the day of your birth. If you have a birthday that is following from 22nd until the 31st, you just add up the numbers. So let's say you were born on the 3rd of March. Your first position is going to be 3, which is the Empress. So you look into the major arcana and you find card number 3, because that is the day of your birth. If you were born on the 30th of the month, you add up 3 plus 0 equals 3, so it's also the Empress. If you were born on the 18th of the month, so this would be position number 18, would be the Moon. Yeah. If you were born on the 12th of the month, you would have the Hanged Man. If you were born on the 20th of the month, you would have Judgment. I'm born on the 20th of March, so position number 1 is the Judgment card. Okay? So let's leave it like this. I'm going to use myself as a point of reference. Position number 1 shows your personality, how you show up in the world, how others perceive you, and it is calculated by just looking at the day of your birth. Just the day, okay? Don't jump ahead and calculate your month and your year. We're going to move on to the next step. Now, position number 2, which, if you remember, was placed over here to the side of position 1. Position 2 represents the ideal, what we constantly keep searching for and what we feel we may lack in our lives. We often search for this on the outside of ourselves, and it shows that maybe the thing that we are seeking so desperately on the outside lies actually within. So it is the ideal, but it is also a hidden strength. What you are seeking so desperately in life exists inside of you, but you are not yet aware of. And how do you reach position number 2? How do you calculate it? It's basically your birth month. So if you were born in April, it's going to be major arcana number 4, the Emperor. If you were born in August, number 8, it's going to be the Strength card. I was born, for example, in March, so the major arcana will be the Empress, and this is going to be position number 2, what I idealize, but also what exists inside of me as a hidden strength. So position number 2, you look at your birth month. The months are limited to only 12. Okay, position number 3. This shows the area of our thinking and the prism through which we perceive reality, your constant mental preoccupations, and also collective energies. So you are born in a specific place and time, and you kind of bring with you a certain type of energy. Some people are born at the beginning of wars, others are born at the end of wars. Some people are born during harsh economic, social circumstances. Others are born during times of peace and great cultural booms. So position number 3 shows the concerns that exist in your mind, which were imprinted in you around the time of your birth. I hope that makes sense. And how do you calculate this? Well, position number 3, it's basically just you adding up the numbers that comprise your birth year. So in my case, for example, I was born in 1987, and I need to add up 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. So this gives me the number 25. And 25, if I add it up again, leads me to 7. So in position number 3, I will have there the major arcana number 7, which is basically the Chariot. Yeah, so that's how I found my 3rd position. Don't worry, at the end of the 5 positions, I will do a recap as to how you can calculate them, but keep in mind the meaning of each specific position. Now we move on to position number 4. This is the area that is concerned with how you do things. What is the activity that you tend to be focused on in your lifetime? And it is also about what is the purpose of my activity in this reality? What is the meaning of my life? What is my mission on earth? So it deals with existential choices, the choices we make in life that lead us towards specific actions. And how do you reach position number 4? Well, you add up the day, the month, and the year of your birth in that specific order without doing other additional things in the middle. So in my case, for example, I was born on the 20th of March, 1987. So I add 2 plus 0 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. And you do not do other additions in the middle. You just have to add them in this specific order. And in total, if I add up all of the numbers in my birth date, I am left with the number 30. So again, it's reduced to the number 3 because 3 plus 0 equal 3. So again, I have here the Empress. Now, because cards in the major arcana will appear in duplicate positions most of the time, this is why I highly recommend that when you begin this RPA method to cast it for yourself or for somebody else, that you have more than just one tarot deck. Get ready to have another tarot deck. So I'm just going to refer back to the Halloween tarot, and I'm going to look for major arcana number 3, the Empress, because as you can see, I have the Empress in position number 2 and the Empress in position number 4. So this can happen, duplicates can happen, and that's perfectly fine. Now, how can we find out the card in position number 5? Well, number 5 signifies the challenges we face in life. It's more about repetitive patterns that we tend to get stuck into. It represents also a summary of all of the other 4 cards that came previously to it, and it leads us to conclude that the summary of all of these energies also talks about some forces in our unconscious that may self-sabotage us sometimes. Obviously, in order to find out what position number 5 is in the major arcana, you just need to add up position 1, 2, 3, and 4. I need to add up 20th, which is the Judgment major arcana, number 3, the Empress, number 7, and number 3 again. Yeah, so I add up 2 plus 0 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3, and it leaves me with 15. So I add that again to number 6. In the middle, I have here card number 6, major arcana, which is the Lovers. Okay, so this is our initial cross. It goes in this direction as I showed you before, but I will keep showing you because repetition is the mother of all learning. We have here position 1, which you can find out by looking at your date of birth. Position number 2, your birth month. Position number 3, your birth year. Position number 4, which is adding up the day, month, and year. And then position number 5, which is adding the major arcana present in position 1, the major arcana in position 2, position 3, position 4. The sum of all of these arcanas is giving you the 5th arcana position. So I hope this makes sense. So once again, the 5th arcana represents challenges we face in life. It represents repetitive patterns we get stuck into. In my case, I have the Lovers, so it seems to me that I get stuck in relationships. I get stuck in a period of doubt. I get stuck when I prioritize love over and above other things such as work. But in your case, it's going to look completely different, or maybe you have as well the Lovers there, so you can give yourself a deeper interpretation of this. Okay, now I'm going to move forward to the representation of the other positions that are giving a nuance to the positions that we already have here, which are the main ones. Okay, in order to find out which card falls in position number 6, we simply add up the cards in position 1 and 2. So in this case, I would need to add up 20 plus 3, 2 plus 0 plus 3. And I will find out that the card in position number 6, for me, it will be card number 5, which is the major arcana of the Hierophant. The card in position 6 is basically showing you the area of your inborn qualities, your energetic resources. Blessings and solutions are represented by this card. So for example, in my case, because I have the Hierophant here, whenever I adopt a traditional approach, when I do things slowly, steadily with the spiritual goal in mind, that's when I unlock blessings in my life. This is also the energy of Taurus. So for example, I can assert that Taurus or Taurian energies in my life are actually bringing me a sense of blessing, stability. They help me find solutions. You can also find your hidden friends here, members of your soul family as well. So position 6 is a really positive position, but it comes as a mirror with position 7. Position 7, by contrast with position 6, it's showing you your life's greatest challenges, actually showing you what limits you, the obstacles you will have to face. It indicates what is weak inside of you and how you lose energy rather than gain it as you do in position 6. So how do you find out what card falls into position 7? You simply add up the cards in position 2 and 3. In my case, this would be, I'm adding the Empress, number 3, with the Chariot, number 7. And this leads me to number 10. And number 10 is the major arcana of the Wheel of Fortune. There we go. Paradoxically, my greatest challenge, limit, and obstacle in my life is taking risks, overdoing it, exaggerating, yeah? The Wheel of Fortune is about constantly keep on moving, but I see that what actually brings me a lot of blessings is being committed to a goal, to a specific thing that I want to slowly and safely and surely build up in time. So going with the flow, taking chances, being reckless, and just constantly keep on moving or running away from things is detrimental to my personal growth. This is what the Wheel of Fortune in position 7 is teaching me about my life's purpose. Okay? Do you guys understand how this works now? So once again, zone 6 is calculated by adding up zone 1 plus zone 2. Zone 7 is calculated by adding up zone 2 plus zone 3. This is the area of blessings, your inborn qualities as well. So this also shows the qualities you naturally came into this world to radiate outwards. And zone 7 is showing what is weak inside of you, what is debilitated, what is not functioning properly, and in some way it needs some boundaries. Let's move on to position 8. Position 8 is probably the most fascinating one because this is called the meteo area. Meteo as in the weather forecast, because it depends on the transits of each year. We basically add up the numbers in the year of interest. If I want to find out how 2025 is going to affect me, I will need to add up 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, which end up creating the number 9. For me, 2025 is going to be a hermit year, because this is the major arcana number 9. So that means that in 2029, I will be less sociable. I'll be very focused on research. I may write a book. I may prepare some reports, some presentations. I'm going to spend a lot of time on my own, in solitude and stillness, connecting with the spiritual side of life. And this is going to nourish me. This is actually what needs to happen for me in 2025. This is the area of your RPA that is very much about the collective, because all of us are going to go through the same kind of energies. But it's interesting nonetheless to have it here, because it shows, it colors the interpretation of the entire RPA. Position 8 is the transit area, the weather forecast, and it shows you the energy of a given year, and you find out what major arcana falls in position 8 by adding up the numbers in the given year you are interested about. I was born, for example, in 1987, and if I want to find out what major arcana energy existed in the collective when I was born, I need to add up 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. Add them in this correct order and do not make bunches in between. Add them in the correct order so that you can actually find the number that is specifically given to you there. Now, moving on to zone 9. Position 9 is discovered by adding the contents of position 6 and 7. So if I add up the major arcana in zone 6 with the major arcana in zone 7, I find out the position in zone 9. In my case, I have 5 plus 10, which leads me to 15. And we all know the charismatic fellow that exists in position 15. Of course, it is the devil, and he will be placed here. Zone 9 shows the area of inner success. and it's actually quite funny that I have the devil here, but anyway, let's keep it moving. This is actually a really positive place in the whole RPA, because it reveals your true self, the one we rarely express, the one that appears to us in dreams mostly, but only those who practice spirituality can access it. So this is a part of ourselves that exists inside of us that is very hidden from other people. Now, don't get afraid if you get the devil here. This actually shows the qualities of the sign of Capricorn and Saturn. This shows that you're a person that likes to work with discipline, an individual that puts a lot of boundaries in their lives and may separate themselves from other people in order to create the kind of work that lives up to their quality standards. It also shows that you may have had some very tough karma in this lifetime with the devil here. You feel bound by certain things. Initially, I started reading tarot because I really wanted to heal my heart due to the fact that I have a moon conjunct Saturn and Uranus, a Pluto in the first house, some really powerful astrological energies that were compelling me to understand why is my life so difficult compared to other people. So the card in position 9 is going to show you your deeper self. In my case, it is this disciplined, harsh, Capricornian, Saturnian energy, which also speaks to my astrological energy and the fact that I was born with this harsh moon conjunct Saturn energy in my chart. So don't be afraid if you get the Tower here, if you get the Death card, if you get the Devil. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that you were given a very tough karma to process and work with in this lifetime. But look at how beautifully the Devil speaks to the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about using wisdom, turning towards God, turning towards the light in order to vanquish the karma from a past life. So this is why this RPA method is so beautiful, and this is why I strongly recommend that you do it for yourself, because it shows you the deeper layers of your being. Position number 10 is basically the difference between position number 9, this one, minus 22. So just the number 22. For example, if you have, in my case, I have here number 15. 15 minus 22 leads me to the card in position number 10. It should appear with a minus. It should appear with a difference. I know this sounds a little bit more complicated, but basically all you need to know is you need to know the number of the card in position 9 and then subtract from it the number 22. In my case, I have here minus 7. So again, because I already have the Chariot card over here, I'm going to use a different deck and I'll be looking for the Chariot. The only reason why it should appear with the minus is the deeper meaning of the position 10. So this is the area of failures. This is what you will lose in this lifetime. This is the unconscious programming and self-sabotage patterns. It's an area that is humbling us, okay? In my case, I have here the Chariot, and the Chariot is showing me that too much activity can lead me to loss and lead me to failure. I have to be very measured in how I use my inner resources, because this can lead me to a lot of problems if I don't manage my masculine force, the force that wants to do, to compete, to achieve. The Chariot, as you all know, is the card of victory, but it is also the card that combines our conscious aspect with our unconscious aspects. The black horse versus the white horse, what we know about ourselves and what we want to run away from. So, by not integrating my duality, I run the risk of achieving a lot of failures in my life. This is what the card in position 7 is showing me. It is also showing me that, for example, because the Chariot represents the sun sign of Cancer, I stand a chance to lose a lot of things if I enter into relationships with Cancerians. You can interpret this in a variety of different ways. It all depends on your skills, your preference, your knowledge of the major arcana, but look at how beautifully diversified and how deep the interpretation can be. The card in the position number 10 shows what we will fail at in this lifetime. However, there is a saving grace here, because once we accept and become aware of the energy in position number 10, we can actually transform it into our greatest strength. If I know, for example, that my thirst for victory, my ambition, my desire to just do a lot of things without thinking first is going to self-sabotage me in life, I become aware of how I'm mishandling my masculine energy, and then I can accept it and move forward by taking things a bit slower, by not competing for everything, by healing my masculine energy and putting it to rest from time to time. Things will get accomplished even if I don't chase after them with an ambitious zeal. So in this way, position number 10, in spite of being a humbling position, can also become the source of your deep inner strength. Now let's move on to Jacob's Ladder, the 2 points that add up. Jacob's Ladder, which is the center of the RPA method. These are connected. Position number 12 over there with position number 11 over here. They're connected because they represent the contents of our south node and north node. As you know, the south node and north node of the moons are imaginary points on the elliptic of the moon's movements as it rotates around the earth, and it shows contents from our past life, karma that we come reincarnated on this mortal coil with. So that would be the south node. It also shows what we're naturally good at and what we already have mastered in a previous lifetime. And then position number 12 is the north node. It shows what we are aiming towards, what we are learning to do in this lifetime, what we will become gradually more obsessed with as we age in this reality. So position 11 is the space of our ancient memory, the south node, and we can find it out by adding up the cards in position 7, 3, and 10 gives you 11. In my case, I have here number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, number 7, the Chariot, and again number 7, the Chariot. So they all add up to the number 24, and if we add that again, it adds up to the number 6. In my 11th position, I will have card number 6, which is the major arcana represented by the Lovers. Position number 12 represents future developments, your destiny, what you are walking towards, what you are heading, the highest things towards which you can exceed in this lifetime. Position number 12, you can find out which card falls there by adding card number 6 plus card number 2 plus card number 4. So 6, 2, and 4. And the outcome is going to show you what is the highest place of achievement in this reality for you. If I add up the positions here that I have on my RPA, I have 5 plus 3 plus 3, which adds up to the Justice placement, card number 11. Okay, so this is the entire RPA, with the final cards representing card number 11 represents our inheritance, what's binding us to the past, and card number 12 represents representing our legacy, what we will leave behind to our children, to everyone in the collective, the summary of our lifetime's work. Now we have finally completed both the belt, Jacob's ladder, and the inner circle, and we can have a look at the energies that are placed before us. So once again, position number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So take a good look at your cards, reflect a little bit on them, and I'll come back in a second to show you how to calculate the heart of the matter. Okay, so welcome back after a little break. I'm going to show you now how to calculate the heart of the matter, card number 13, which represents the summary of all of this energy. So if a person were to only look at card number 13, they would understand everything about you. The card that is placed here has the biggest weight. It is the card at the center of your soul's energy. And it can be calculated in the following way. We add up the belt with Jacob's ladder. So basically, we will form position number A, which is add up of card number 9 plus card number 2 plus card number 5 plus card number 4. So you will get a number. And let's call that A equals the number of these cards. For example, in my case, A would be, okay, so in my case, I would need to add 15 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3. And it will lead me to the grand total of 27. And because there is no such thing as a 27th major arcana, I need to add up 2 plus 7, and it would lead me to the number 9. So this is A equals 9, the summary of the belt. We need to have a B position. B equals Jacob's ladder. So we will have to add up the numbers in this row. We will have to add up then position 11 plus position 3 plus 5 plus 1 plus 12. So in my case, I would need to add up 6 plus 7 plus 6 plus 20 plus 11. And it will bring me the grand total of 50, which again, because it's 5 plus 0, it's reduced to 5. So I have A equal 9, the summary of these cards from the belt. And then I have B equals 5, the summary of all the cards on Jacob's ladder. So now I need to add up A plus B. So basically, I add up 9 plus 5. And it will lead me towards the number 14. Number 14 is the temperance, the angel. So there we go. This is the heart of the entire deck. This shows what the RPA means to me, my destiny, my life purpose, how I am as a character, and some of my biggest blessings and challenges. A spiritual life that needs to be led in moderation, a life that is protected by angels and unseen presences, only if I share my knowledge with other people. This is why I am a light worker. This is why I have the devil in position number 9 and the angel in position number 13. This is basically what I wanted to show you guys. A really wonderful way to get to know yourself deeper with the help of tarot. As you know, tarot is not demonic. It is not charged up with negative energies. It is a tool for psychotherapeutic knowledge. It is healing, and it is helping you understand who you really are and what is your purpose in this incarnation. And this method, the referential of personal archetypes, can really help you get more in touch with your deeper self. I really hope that you're going to try it. I hope that the description in this video made sense. Let me know what questions you may have. Let me know what you find out in the comments below. If you don't understand certain things, or if they just went above your head, try practicing at home a couple of times. And if you still have questions, if there are enough questions, I may do a part 2 in which I further clarify this method for you guys. Keep in mind that it's something that's supposed to also be fun and entertaining. Don't take it too seriously. As you know, tarot is not destiny. It is just helping you get to know yourself. You already exist. You already are incarnated, and destiny unfolds according to your own choices as well. It's just a beautiful way to get back in touch, because I know that the majority of you sometimes learn tarot and you learn the major arcana because it's the easiest part of the tarot. It's not as complicated as the minor arcana, at least this is what I heard from your feedback. And you tend to kind of brush over. It's like, oh, you know that the Empress is about beauty. Oh, you know that the Devil is about karma and difficulties. Oh, you know that the Hermit is about isolation. And you tend to get bored with them. But I hope that the RPA method is helping you fall back in love with the major arcana and use them as a tool to get to know yourself, to heal your heart, and to move forward in life with a lot more confidence, creativity, and self-assuredness. Thank you for listening. I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.